Some troubling new questions being raised today as Congress investigates a government conference that cost taxpayers more than $750,000. Yesterday, we saw the man who organized the lavish Las Vegas conference pleading the fifth in front of lawmakers and then literally running from reporters. But he's not running here. This is a picture of the same man in a hot tub at the conference hotel that surfaced late yesterday. This is just the pre-planning. This is how happy he was just planning the conference. Now a top Republican is asking if this wasteful spending and corruption could extend to other federal agencies. The White House press secretary was asked about that very question just last week.
How can the White House be sure that there were no other such examples of excessive spending before this was revealed, either in that agency or in other agencies?
Well, it's a big government, so I would hesitate to make any blanket statements, but what I can tell you is that on his first day in office, President Obama made clear that the people who serve in his administration are keepers of the public trust and that public service is a privilege.
Joining me now, Leslie Marshall, a syndicated radio talk show host and a Fox News contributor, and Lars Larson, a syndicated radio host with Compass Media Networks. Lars, it's a big government. We're not getting any assurances.
Hey, the president's in charge. He sets the tone, and obviously nobody was listening to him to GSA. They were all headed off to Vegas to have a great time on the taxpayers' dime. It's pretty shameful, and it's sad when the members of the most transparent administration in history have to start taking the fifth in front of Congress.
You know, Leslie, it is a big government, but is that really an adequate response from the White House to say, it's really big? We tried to set the right attitude when we took office. It didn't work. Not at the GSA, at least. Shouldn't we have some more reassurance about what they are doing to make sure this isn't going on someplace other than the GSA?
I don't disagree that there could have been a stronger response. That's not the response I would have given. May I just say, please stop, Megan, showing that picture of the hot tub. It is just wrong on so many levels, I must say. I just had to. Sorry. But
it's having a grand old time on our dime. It's even more disturbing when you realize we paid for that wine. We paid for that bathtub.
Yeah, I was talking about the visual there as well. But Lars, I agree with you about how disgusting this wasteful spending is. But I also am disgusted, as I was in 2008, when this same agency, when they went to New Orleans, Louisiana, spent approximately $800,000 under the former administration. And when Darrell Issa said, look, when George W. Bush was president, I tried to reduce spending within this agency unsuccessfully, and that these abuses happened prior to this administration. So whether the president is a Democrat or Republican, whether it's 2008 or 2012, it is wrong to have such abuses, and there should be investigations into every federal agency under every president's watch to make sure this doesn't occur.
Is it going to work, Lars? Because we have heard a lot of folks point, including the White House, point to what happened under the Bush administration. We have yet to see the numbers proved out on that. We don't know. You know, the numbers jumped considerably in spending in the GSA under President Bush. We don't know whether that was one regional conference as it was here or all of GSA. The former administrator under Bush suggested it was many more people participating. We don't know. Listen, the question to you, Lars, is will that work, pointing to what happened in earlier administrations when you have exchanges like this one that took place yesterday from Elijah Cummings, a Democrat from Maryland, who was talking to Mr. Neely. And he was talking about one email that Neely wrote where he invited personal friends to come with him to the conference. It wasn't not even GSA employees, and said to his friends, quote, we'll get you guys a room near us, and we'll pick up the room tab. Could be a blast. I know I'm bad, but as Deb and I often say, why not enjoy it while we have it and while we can? Ain't gonna last forever. Thanks a lot, Mr. Neely.
That's the thing, Megan. You knew that in some way the Obama White House would find a way to say it's President Bush's fault. And I agree, every administration should be careful of the public's money. But President Obama's been in charge now for more than 3 years. Every head of every company out there can set a tone for spending. He can transmit that message down through the ranks and say, we won't tolerate it. You are to find it in your agencies and get rid of it. Obviously, President Obama did not. And trying to blame the problems on the previous administration, I'm not going to accept that from Democrats or from Republicans. Leslie's right. If there was overspending during Bush, it was wrong then. But it's wrong now, and President Obama has to explain how it is that he's been one of the biggest spending presidents ever, racked up more deficit in 3 years than many presidents have in an entire 8-year term, and yet he's making excuses saying, well, Bush was doing it too, or his allies and the folks who carry water for him. That just doesn't cut it.
You know, and then you have folks, Leslie, like Eleanor Holmes Norton, the D.C. representative, you know, not official, but the D.C. Ranking Democrat on this committee, who came out yesterday and said, the system worked as it was intended to work here in this GSA scandal. The system, it was designed to uncover the wrongdoing, and it worked as intended. They were giving these people bonuses while they were under investigation by the Inspector General. That guy Neely is still collecting a six-figure salary that we're paying for, and you've got Eleanor Holmes Norton saying the system worked as intended.
First of all, I'm agreeing with Lars, like I think on 2 or 3 points today. I'm frightened. Secondly, I disagree with that. You know, when you hear that, you know, for example, I was putting myself in some of these people's shoes and saying, you know, instead of what would Jesus do, what would Leslie do? And so I looked at this and I said, if somebody, if somebody is being investigated, and when you look at what they're being investigated for, you don't say, hey, I'm going to give a bonus. Hey, I'm going to give a raise. Hey, I'm going to reward that behavior. I'm real old-fashioned in this way. I feel that good behavior should be rewarded and bad behavior should be punished. I don't care about the politics of it. I don't care who it is. I don't care what level within the administration. These people need to be removed, and they should not be put on any kind of paid leave, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, our credit,
Megan.
Yeah, our credit goes to the five that put together that mashup of Jeff Neely and the videos from that thing that was very, very well sliced and diced for a bit of a laugh. But the sad truth is, it's no laughing matter. I got to run. Leslie, Lars, thank you both so much.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you, Megan.
Did you see it earlier in the tease? Yeah. It's posted online too. Fox News.